Hi there guys, this is Cassandra. I'm a Riffle on Time and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm inspired by the book community and they're doing a 5-book challenge and I wanted to see that and how it would fit in the tarot universe. So I am shifting all of these prompts over to tarot from book and I would love for you to join me. So instead I would love to do the 5 tarot deck challenge. 1, show us a deck that you are currently using. 2, your last 5-star deck. 3, a deck that you keep putting off using and you need people to help you do it. 4, a deck that you feel is super underrated on TarotTube. And then 5, show a deck that you feel that everyone should have. So I actually wrote down like what the book version was, so I had to like replace that in my head, sorry. But I thought this would be fun. I also want to do an oracle version, which I'll probably do as my next video. And I think that'll be fun too. If you want, you can do tarot or oracle. I'm not super crazy on the rules. So the deck I'm currently using, this is just like the deck I've been really drawn to pick up lately. And that is actually Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. This is a newer deck to my collection. This is the 2nd edition. And I'm going to show you it all here. I think it's starting to get towards that like cold, dark, dreary time of year. And I really think one of the big reasons I'm so drawn to this deck is how colorful it is. It is so like bold, bright, bold colors. It's just, I think it is giving me some of that I'm missing this time of year. Like, yes, there are some really beautiful like reds and like yellows and oranges, but they're really starting to turn brown on me. And it's not as bright out, and it's just, I think this is like it's a feel good. And then also, every reading I have done with this lately, I'm asking a question and I'm getting a very direct answer. I also love how it shuffles and I think it's beautiful. I do like collage decks, and this is probably one of my favorite collage decks. I had my eye on the 1st edition for the shop, but I had to wait for the Kickstarter because it was sold out. And I backed the Kickstarter for the shop and here it is. So I'm happy to have it. Again, I really love the contrast in it. I love the colors, these edges and like the foiling. Really love the feel of the cards, and you know, sensory wise, that's so important for me. I love how these cards feel. They're like a good smooth, they're not rose petal, but they're not just that like laminated feel. They're definitely like a smoother. I forget what the word, again, I one day will become a cardstock aficionado. Next, your last 5-star deck. Now, this one gave me a little stress because I'm like, when I'm thinking 5-star, am I talking like about like 1 in a million? You know, I just got really like hung up on that for a second. And so what I did instead, what is the last deck that I felt like really shook up my top 10? Like a deck that was like, you know, like the only 10 deck tag, like what deck really like have I considered putting on there? Like what deck have I been like not been able to shut up about kind of vibe? It is the Extraordinary Incantations. This is a tarot/oracle, and I am using it in the tarot version because I use it as a tarot deck. I'm using it because it is suited up that way. It is structured that way. Though I do really love the kind of like oracle affirmation like meanings on here, I'm still reading this as a tarot deck. And I really love it. I won't stop loving it. I was actually talking to someone like that got the deck from me about it, and we were just gushing over it because I do think it is like sweet, cute, cheeky, spunky. It's just, I really love the energy of this deck, and I am not always a super cutesy deck person, but this hits for me. This is a a definite hit. And I think I'm going to do a whole video on this deck, or maybe just all of Chinge's decks that I have. That might be fun. A whole video just talking about Chinge. Kind of, I just did a deck. Actually, I'll talk about that deck later, but I just did a video on a deck that I was just really excited to talk about that deck and the creator. So next up, we have a deck that you keep putting off and you need people to help you use it. So I had a deck for that in the Oracle sense, and I was like, what deck am I really not using that I need help like using? And I realized what it is. It's Thoth. I have not taken the time to learn the Thoth system, and I've always wanted to. And I think this is like, maybe it's just from the circle I've heard it from. I just think it's something that is like a daunting task for a lot of people, that like, I have to get around to learning Thoth. I do want to, especially because one of my favorite decks is a Thoth inspired deck, which is Outgrow Yourself. This is a tarot oracle, but it is a Thoth based tarot. And I really do lean on the oracle part of it because I don't have any connection to the Thoth. And that might help kind of bridge some gaps for me. Now, I will look it up if I'm feeling extra curious, but it would be nice. And I'm going to be honest, like I'm quite interested in the Thoth itself, and I kind of dig the color vibes of it. And it feels different. And you know I love different. But it feels different than the decks I use, it makes a lot of sense because a lot of decks that I use tarot-wise are RWS based. And I have some rogue decks that kind of just do whatever they want, but I don't know what it is, but I do find I'm like very, very interested when I do look at it. But as you can tell, like it's still in order. It's still in order. And I don't know if it's just because it feels like a big task, like I'm biting off something else to chew, you know? Maybe that's it, because I don't feel like it's like complete disinterest or that I'm like an RWS girly. I really am just my own thing. I do love the scenic kind of vibes of RWS, but I almost said grow up. I didn't even grow up on a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I completely got lost somewhere else first. So, okay, next up is a deck that you feel is super underappreciated on, this would be TarotTube. And this is in general like a deck that I don't see a lot of. So it actually has two versions that I'm going to have. This is Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. I'm going to show you specifically the Infinity Edition because I do think I've seen on other platforms, I've seen a little bit of the original, but the Infinity Edition, I feel like I just don't see anywhere. I'll show you. And if you want, I can do a whole video on any of these decks, but it has those like glossy, almost mirror finished backs, I think would be how I explain that. And this one is like super colorful. Minus the court cards, they do like kind of that almost monochromatic vibe. But I really love this deck. Now this deck does not come with a guidebook, and it's intentionally done that way. They want you to like really connect with your intuition on that. And it's one of the things that really drew me to this deck in the first place. Not only do I really like the artwork, it gives me like anime fantasy vibes, but there's something about like my hand being forced to not have a guidebook that really drew me in at first, because at the time when I got the original edition, I still was like really, and I always will be into guidebooks because again, I'm a word witch. I love to see like things to come to life in that way. And it's just always been a really good way for me to process. And like how I feel probably most connected to my channel is through words. So it makes sense that I like a guidebook, but also to have something that really tests my connection with another thing I do love, which is art of any kind of source there. But I think this deck is so beautiful, and it's so unique. I really love it. I love it so much. I love this magician card. I love like the way it's actually like symbolized here. And I also really, really love, here it is. It's exactly what I was looking. Like, this is how I feel connected to source, the universe, whatever it may be. I feel like the whispers, the download, you know what I mean? And how perfect is that? I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker for it. And they come with these little cloths because you will get smudges on a mirror finish, but I think that's also just brilliant. I'm going to show you a little bit of the original too. This is a black backed with black edges. Now I'm actually out of stock of this version in the shop right now, but I do have the Infinity in the shop. Of course I do, because you hear me talk about something like I just talked about that, and you know I couldn't avoid it. I couldn't not have it. I will be getting a restock at the beginning of the year of this edition. But right now, I am definitely maxed out of what I can restock, pretty much. So, and though this isn't as colorful, which you know I love color, it still does have a lot of color in it. The minors are where the color lives in this edition, because the majors are black and white except a hint of color, which I think is also really cool. I didn't say the word, but how cool is it? Please tell me you think this is as cool as I think this is. It's really I think a really special deck, and I don't hear about it, and I don't see about it, and I don't know about it unless it's really a lot of me. Next up is the deck I think everyone should have. And this week's video is that I'm recording in the week of after I just posted on Thursday the video for the Gentle Tarot, and you are going to be able to go and see every version I have of the Gentle Tarot in like real time right now. I'll have it like popped up here, but I think everyone should have the Gentle Tarot. I don't know why you wouldn't. Just like, I can't even think of a good reason. I think everybody needs a little gentle. I think the people who don't think they need gentle probably need it more. So I think this deck is completely its own thing. I don't think it's like something that you could easily just do something else and like scratch the same itch. This just feels like the Gentle Tarot. A lot of the time I do use the guidebook, the full size, and it just is such a like experience separate of its own. Like, it feels really like, it feels like I'm healing when I'm using it. It's like, it feels like a meditation. It feels like self-care in its like best version, not in the like performative way, but in the like move your soul kind of way. And I love this. This is me just gushing about some of my favorite decks. That's what you're here for, though, you know? You haven't gotten this far and don't know I just love them. I love them. They're my friends. But next, probably next week, I will do the Oracle version of this tag, where I do have 5 Oracle decks that will all fit in that same kind of spot. So yeah, I would love to see what your version of this is. And again, don't get hung up too bad on like the rules of it. I think it's fun to do the rules if that's what you want to do, but don't like put yourself too much in a box. If you just have 5 decks that you want to show everybody, make a video of 5 decks you want to show everybody. Or comment below if you don't feel like making a video. Just let me know. I would love to hear like what decks you're really into right now, / what deck is your Thoth, or if it is the Thoth. I will have, I think, another video that I'm going to be doing soon is I'm going to start doing monthly favorites. I didn't know that was something anyone was interested in seeing, but I did a post on the community post kind of section asking your opinion. So if you haven't voted yet, go vote. I do care. Comment there if there's any other video that like type that you want to see. I think I'm going to do a monthly favorite. I might even do some like crazy kind of videos I've never done before. Like I thought about doing like a vloggy style. I thought it would be cool to like show you like what I do behind the scenes here / in the shop, like how I get ready for a video. I also want to do another like declutter before the end of the year, so I might actually bring you along for the process of the declutter, like what I do before this part of where we talk about all of them. That would be fun. I have other things that I'm excited about that are kind of tarot adjacent. Like I like witchy fun things, so that might be something else I could do. I could do a little like, I don't know. And then also I just recently did a workshop with Mari, who's the creator of, like, I wasn't hosting it, but I was participating as like a person. But I did a workshop and I thought, like, you know, it would be really cool to do some community stuff here. So I think that would be fun. I could even do like a live. I've never done one before, but this is what I mean. I really don't do too much editing of my videos. I will like cut things out to make them shorter. I could definitely do a live if that's something that anyone was interested in. And I don't know what we would do, but we could figure that out too. So just let me know. I love you.